What's up, guys? So we're coming at you with the April shop tour. I know it's been a while. We've not had a lot of content. We've had a lot of cool stuff going on in the shop, and we've got some new vehicles in here for you to check out. In front of me, beside me, whatnot, we've got a 37 Ford truck. Pretty small job. Some of these are kind of, we prioritize here to get these customers in and out so they can have their cars to enjoy. Now that it's getting warm, it's getting time to drive these things. So 37 Ford, this is pretty easy. All we're doing is a Holley Sniper 2 installation. You can see here, had an old Edelbrock carburetor on it. So this is what we ended up taking off. And then again, as we talked to you before, that those Holley Snipers are super easy bolt on. So the same intake manifold, we literally unbolted this, pulled it off, and now we've bolted Holley Sniper 2 on. Gonna have, you know, high pressure fuel system, replace the fuel pressure regulator with a higher pressure regulator for that system. But other than that, the actual throttle body itself bolts right on the same place that the carburetor was. So excited to get that done. It'll be a lot nicer driving, no choking. It'll start whether it's 20 degrees or 120 degrees out. Be a good little system. So we'll have him in and out. He can go enjoy that thing. Here is a pretty cool little hot rod. This thing's got some neat history. It has been built since the early 70s and relatively unchanged. So it's been through a few multiple owners, but it's in here for a new fuel tank and fuel line. So we went to our friends at Tanks Inc. Got a brand new tank for these 33 to 34 Ford cars. We'll get it put in there, and we're gonna build a fuel line from the tank all the way up to the mechanical fuel pump on the motor. And then once that's done, he can get on his way, go enjoy this thing as well. Right here is one of our buddy Marvin's trucks, 49 Chevrolet truck, advanced design. It's sitting on the S10 chassis. We've done some work to this thing in the past here and there, but he's been driving the wheels off of it, enjoying it, and that's what we like to see. But it's getting hot outside. He's been bearing with no air conditioning for the past few years when it's been built, so it's come to us to put vintage air on it. So we got one of the under dash heritage units inside. We're going to use the easy clip hoses. So going to have a sanding compressor, got the bracket from Vintage Air. We just got to get all that put together. We got to pull it down and gas it up, and he'll be on his way as well. Over here, you've seen this car a lot, 72 Nova. It's all wired. We've checked all the circuits, pretty much ready to go. What we're doing now is building a stainless exhaust system for it. So you can see here, we've got it up on the lift, got the TIG welder out, got our clamps and bandsaw, so we're ready to go. We've started on this thing. Once we get this exhaust done, then we can prime the oil system, we can drop the distributor in, and it should be ready to fire up and see what it sounds like, see what it runs like. Again, like we had told you on the past, this car came to us non-running, non-driving, so the owner had it for years and driven it. It went down, and it sat for probably 3 years before it came to us. So should be interesting to see how this thing runs, what leaks and what doesn't once we get it going. But up underneath, you can tell it's turned out really nice. He's just started right here on the exhaust system, getting it mocked up and welded in. So you can see here, we've got the flex joints going into an X pipe, and then we're gonna run back, go underneath the rear end. We're gonna have some MagnaFlow mufflers, and it's gonna come out and dump kind of right behind the wheel under the quarter panel. So we'll have this startup for you soon, hopefully, when we get this thing running, see what it sounds like. So stay tuned for that. But this is the clean shop. Got a bunch of new projects, like I said, some really cool stuff. It's wild how we have multiple, you know, like kind of pre-49 type vehicles in here, which you don't see as much, but we're happy to see those. But let's go check out the dirty shop, show you what we got in there. All right, so we're over here in the body shop area. You can tell it's cleaned out, not as much stuff going on, but we've got a new car in here, 69 Camaro. So this has been a restored car for, I think, around 20 years. I had some places coming up on the paint. You can see where we've gone around. There's little tape marks everywhere. We've identified issues, and also just kind of took some compressed air and started kind of blowing some of this off. And there's actually been adhesion issues between the paint and the primer a lot. We've also got some rust places coming up. So this started out where we're going to do some body work and paint repair. But by the time we kind of identified all the issues, we got back with the customer scope creep. So this whole thing is going to be body work. We had to pull the vinyl top off, all the bumpers, trim, moldings, all that good stuff. And we're gonna body work this entire car and then have our friends at Dynamic Speed and Custom in Alabama paint it for us. Turned into quite a bit more work, but you know, as we talked with the customers, by the time we repaired all these little areas and we had to blend on this car and this and that, it's like we were almost going to touch this entire car anyway. They were okay with, they understood. So yeah, we're going to be going with a complete entire bodywork and paint job on this. And while we're at it, there's a couple things. We're going to try to get the fender to door, fender to hood, kind of this whole front end fit looking a little better. So we're probably going to have to do a little metal work here and there for that. And then we're going to replace the wheels and tires. So we're going to go with a larger diameter rally wheel and get some red lines to put on this thing, give it a little more flair. But going back the same color, putting a vinyl top back on it, but it will just be nice and fresh and clean and sleek. So excited to kick this off and start digging in and seeing what all we find. All right, so BB's been real busy over here working on both of these C10s. I know a lot of people love these classic trucks, and this is going to be a really killer one right here. Full build for us, Roaster Shop chassis. Again, we're in the mock-up stage, so you can see we've got the bumper brackets, rear bumper on, new tailgate, trying to see how that fits. We've got a tailgate latch kit coming for this to get rid of all the chains. I mean, it'll actually have a handle right here in the middle, so it'll unlatch and be a little bit like a newer truck. Won't scratch the paint up with chains and so forth. So brand new bed, tailgate, wheel tubs from Auto Metal Direct. You can see he's done a lot of metal work around the door edge cab, trying to get our gaps and flush correct. Fill the gas tank hole, or the fuel fill hole, as it's gonna be in the bed now. A lot of work to the rockers and fender, new Auto Metal Direct front sheet metal, a lot of it is. So again, just making sure to get this massaged, get everything where the flush and gap are where we need to be, so the body work is a little bit easier. So this is kind of cool. It's a GMC truck instead of a Chevrolet, different grille. We actually put a Chevrolet hood on it. But yeah, it's pretty cool. You can see here the billet hinges. It's got a Blueprint 6.2. We put small block Chevrolet valve covers on it. It's gonna have a Borla 8 stack. So it'll be pretty neat under the hood and also have plenty of horsepower to smoke those tires if they want to. He's over here inside looking at the 63 C10. It's on Porterbuilt front and rear. We've got did some sizing. We've got some wheels and tires coming for it. We did a lot of paint work inside and then built the whole bed frame that hinges up right here. So this is a pretty neat little truck. The owner's gonna take it back when we're finished and paint the entire exterior and kind of have it patinaed how he wants so that it all matches. So should be a fun little truck, and it lays out really nicely with the Porterbuilt stuff. But this hinges up. Right now we've got stuff in it, but this hinges up, we can show you. And then Joseph fabricated this whole piece right here. So these are little release buttons for the actual center of the bed that comes up. And then the pocket right here is just to be able to pick up on it. And then he made these little pockets on each side for these straps to go off into, and it works really nicely together. Turned out really nice. Brought the little bead rolls down kind of to match the bed strips. So, and then fabricated these wheel tubs as well. The factory ones were going to be way too tall since we raised the bed floor. Yeah, 63 C10, 66 GMC. Getting a lot of mock-up work on the GMC right now, and we're trying to wrap this up to get it to the finish line. All right, so that wraps up the Dirty Shop and our shop tour for April. Appreciate y'all checking us out. Stay tuned, we'll have more content for you soon.